Right, so in the body there are 5 different blood vessels that help to transport blood around various parts of the body. These are all very important as the blood provides muscles with nutrients and oxygen in order to work. So firstly we have arteries, which have thick muscular elastic walls, and it's the elasticity that lets them expand as blood passes through, then recoil afterwards. So the tunica media layer enables the arteries to alter their diameter, which helps with the amount of blood that's passing through and altering the blood pressure. So they also have a fibrous outer layer, which is called the tunica externa, and a thin lining of cells, or endothelial cells as they're known, which is the tunica interna layer. So arteries are also controlled by the SNS. So they carry blood away from the heart, so their thick walls help to deal with such high pressures in the vessel due to the fact that blood is pumped out of the heart at a very high pressure. So they only carry oxygenated blood, besides the pulmonary artery, which takes deoxygenated blood to the lungs in order to be oxygenated. So the other major vessel is the vein. It has a thin wall in comparison to arteries. This is due to a low blood pressure inside the vessel. So despite the thinness of the walls, it still contains the same 3 layers as the arteries, so the tunica externa, media and interna. So the walls also contain muscle cells and are less elastic. Due to the thin wall, the lumen of veins are very wide, allowing more blood to return to the heart, so the wider the lumen, the easier it is for blood to flow, which is often against gravity. They work with the muscle pump, which helps to squeeze blood back to the heart against gravity, so that's how they get blood back. So this is also known as venous return, therefore veins carry blood to the heart, mainly deoxygenated blood, excluding the pulmonary vein. So veins also have valves, which aid the venous return as they prevent backflow. Besides all this, the lumen of veins are wider also to allow the veins to act as a reservoir of blood during rest. So this is where blood is kept. So here in the image we can just see the distinct difference between the thin and thicker walls of the vein and arteries, and then how much bigger the lumen of the vein is compared to the small lumen of the artery. Okay, so now I'm just going to look at the next 3 types of vessels. So arterioles are the tiny branches of arteries which lead to capillaries in muscles. So their main function is to vasoconstrict, which is contracting to increase the blood pressure and restrict blood flow, and vasodilate, which is dilating to decrease the blood pressure and increase the amount of blood flowing through them. So this process is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. So it's not conscious, it's controlled by overall it's controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Arterioles are therefore very important for the distribution of blood, especially from arteries to capillaries. So they also have precapillary sphincters just before capillary beds, which open and close to regulate the amount of blood flowing through them, which is again controlled by the SNS. So the next type of vessel is the capillaries, which are the smallest vessel, but collectively they have a very, very large surface area, creating more resistance. So this means blood oozes slowly through them, which is a very good thing actually, as it allows gases enough time to enter and exit the blood. So this leads me on to the main function being gaseous exchange, which is the diffusion of gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide and also water and salts between the blood and organs. So this supplies muscles with oxygen and other nutrients required for muscles to respire and therefore perform their functions, like movement. The capillary wall is simply made of 1 cell layer in thickness. This is 1 cell layer of endothelial cells. This allows efficient gas exchange as they have a shorter distance to diffuse across. So finally we have venules, which are only just larger than capillaries, but still very, very small vessels. So multiple venules unite to form a vein, as they are basically just small veins. They don't have a muscular layer in their wall as they are not involved in any sort of contractions. The only function of the venules really is to drain blood from the capillaries to the veins in order for blood to return to the heart, so venous return.